So I think start working on it. Value your habits, the stuff you do, and then later on when you're kind of choosing somebody, you'll feel like, okay, I'm good enough for this person, and vice versa. Because without that, what you did in the past may haunt you. So it's just another reason to, hey guys, let's make sure we're living wise beyond our years for stuff that you don't think matters now, but later on it will. And then, as you get older, when you have kids, your kids are going to kind of appreciate the type of person you were. So it's another reason to live as good as you can. And I think, as you get older, people get separated, unfortunately, people die. And I look at my dad who is single, and, it's like, Dad, get out there, do something, and of course he doesn't, he just does his own thing. And I think, he needed to expose himself, go on those buses to Laughlin, do whatever, and you could even do that at a young age, and just constantly do it, and just don't look like you're desperate. Just go have fun, and then whoever comes up to you. But find yourself a group of people and just do your thing. The hardest thing is you're planning a trip like that, but no, you just got to just put yourself in a situation and move forward. Even find other people in the same situation, and you'll probably be surprised what happens. We'll take a quick break and we'll be back. Hey guys, we love sugar. Sugar tastes good. Problem is, it's causing obesity, it's linked to type 2 diabetes, so we switch over to artificial sweeteners, which at a certain level become bitter, and now it's linked to early dementia. In fact, if you're drinking diet sodas on a regular basis, you're 10 times more likely, studies say, in getting early dementia. So we have a sugar, it's called Next Sugar. It tastes great. It's as sweet as sugar. It's 100% on the sweetness index. Yes, there is an index for that. And guess what? It's half the calories, guys. You can bake with it, try it, get going, do your thing. All right, we're back. We're talking about dating and just going over the stuff that I thought would help me, and we'll circle back, and I always tell people, hey, email me what you think, and then when we go over this again later on, we will kind of add other people's input. One of the things that I notice when people are dating, it's or marriages or anything, often we're dealing with each other's hang-ups, and that in itself is worth a whole show. And hang-ups, the best way I could define it is, if you were to go into a dog pound and you see this dog and it's kind of in the corner shaking, obviously that dog has hang-ups. For you to have the best relationship would be to find somebody with the least amount of hang-ups. Nobody, except for Jesus, I think didn't have hang-ups. So what we have to do now is learn how to deal with them, find out what kind of hang-ups our partner has, and the first thing is say, okay, are we able to live with this? If we're not, then move on. If let's say my dad is. Let's say my dad was super messy, and so therefore I'm messy. If my spouse doesn't like a messy house, I'm gonna drive her nuts. Sure, she could try to curve it, but don't let that be, if you don't do this, then I'm gonna leave. The worst thing you want to do is try to make your partner somebody that they're not. You cannot change them. They are who they are. If they want to change themselves, that's fine, but change is few and far between. Nobody wants to change any more than we want to change. But you have to say, okay, this is what my partner's dealing with, so that's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna either enjoy the partner. If we work those things out, it's a bonus. That's great. But otherwise, if you're trying to change your partner, like, hey, for them to be happy, they need to do this, this, and this. No, that's for you to be happy. And they obviously are doing what makes them happy. So when we're going through life, I think the best thing we could do is get rid of our hang-ups. And it's, if it's a shortcoming we have, a lot of times we have a defense mechanism. They're attacking me. No, I'm saying this because I think this needs done. Oh, no, you're attacking me is what the person's saying. And, if we could just start working things out and not having these issues and it flare up and turn into other things, I think our relationships will be not just more successful, but we'll just enjoy each other's company more. You just take each other at face value, and it's just, otherwise you're constantly you will not have one weekend trip without flare-ups. So that's one thing I would recommend when you're talking to somebody, is find out the things that may bother you a little bit. Believe me, after you get married, they ain't gonna go away. It's not you're gonna live happily ever after. It's, you're gonna work at things to make it enjoyable for both of you. But if you're so upset with certain things, then there's just like a static in the relationship, and you'll never get to where you need to be. Obviously this stuff is stuff that everybody kind of knows, but I like to bring things up just maybe in a different light, and sometimes, again, you could say, oh yeah, Brent, you're so uptight, you're so square. But let's face it, if you do those things, how many people wind up crying over relationships or something that happened with somebody, they went too far or whatever? And it's like, well, that stuff, nobody's going to defend that stuff because they know it's bad. And let's say a girl getting drunk and doing something that she didn't want to do, and she went too far. Where are the people saying, no, you can't do that because it doesn't work out? Nobody wants to say anything, but you have to. So there's a reason why you do the things you do. I do certain things that people are like, oh gosh, Brent, you're square. But guess what? I don't have to deal with as many repercussions as maybe somebody else. So it's not that I'm better than anybody. I just try to be better off whenever I can. So anyway, that's just kind of my tips on dating, and also in the airlines. When you're there, TSA, they have no competition. So you can act upset, but go to corporate to complain. Don't complain to the dude wearing a badge, and that's backed by the government, because it's never gonna work out well, I promise.